Catch up, niggas. Damn, you faking them, ho. How you gave them that? Or the Marva came with the alligator strap.
Real Talk Tuesday, y'all. Come on, get yourself in here. Get yourself in here. If you hit the like button, we can bring more people in here. What? Show you how to do this, son. The #1 podcast in Georgetown County. None to come. Yeah. I appreciate that. That's perfect. Oh, and an extra creamer there. That is so awesome. Thank you. There you go. Hit that like button you see on the screen right there. Here's what you should be doing on that day. Instead of going to get misled, get your head fed with some proper information at the town hall meeting. You see it on the screen. You know what I mean? Town hall meeting. You know where it happens at. If not, I'll tell you. It happens at the Sheriff's Department substation courtroom. 116 North Morgan Avenue in Andrews, South Carolina, 29510. And this is going to take place Thursday, October 19th at 6 p.m. So the choice is yours. Of course, you can go get misled or you can get fed some information right here. Boy, how is everybody doing this evening? Let me get this off the screen. You know what I mean? But let's see. My engineer is out of town tonight, so it's a little slow on the boards. I'm working the boards by myself. Shout out to those two people who just hit that like button. If I had a word, that'd be and I was the deciding vote, you get into heaven just because you hit that like button, just out of the love of your heart right there. I mean, cooperating. Listen, tonight is going to be a good night. This is going to be action-packed. Real Talk Tuesday. If you've been here before, again, thank you. Hit that like button. So I got a new shirt. Because, like I said last night, it came through. Okay, cool beans. Coffee beans, I guess is what you want to call that. Again, a lot of chatter has been seen because a lot of people for the first time is being introduced to the gentleman that's running for mayor. You all know Mayor Frank McClary, of course, and the other guy, Mr. Baber. So we're going to get into a lot about leadership tonight, a lot about just a lot of different things, you know what I mean? Because it's time to get into this stuff, right? Because it's serious. But the most important thing is to make sure that you do actually go and cast that vote, because all that talking is you ain't gonna do nothing. You got to make sure you go and actually cast that vote, all right? To the people of Andrews. All right? Y'all remember. What did I want to talk? What I want to real fast. Again, ma'am, I done read this thing for about a week or so, and I'm still again, I told you the engineers are out, and so I'm working the boards tonight by myself. Y'all think I'd be over here doing this, but I got engineers. I had to give them a vacation. I mean, you know what I mean? I snuck them across the border and been working them like a rented mule. So, it's time to mam and glam. Okay, too busy to get your mammogram scheduled? Well, Tylen's Health is making it easier than ever through this program called Mam and Glam. Take care of yourself and take care of your annual mammogram. the next time you can go and do this. Now, before you can do this, you need to make an appointment. You need to schedule an appointment, and an appointment is required. And the number is 843-848-5101. Again, remember, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, as well as Domestic Violence Month. I don't know why they would put those two together like that, but I got too much free time, as one of my friends would say. Saturday, October 21st at 8 a.m. This is going to be at Tidelands Health Imaging, and this is going to take place at I can't see that, 4181 Highway 17. Please go on my page and look at this flyer, because I'm having trouble seeing it right now. And then after that, the next time you have to go to Myrtle Beach at the Tidelands Health Medical Park at the Market Commons. And that's going to be October 28th. Now, remember, you have to schedule, so make sure you go ahead and give them a call and get your appointment scheduled at 843-848-5101. Tell them that Welcome to Andrews sent you down day. Okay. And I guess this is more inspirational than we first thought. But guys, remember, here on Facebook, 21 Days of Prayer, October 3rd to the 23rd. This has been a very good, a lot of good energy, and a lot of people tuning in. And so shout out again, salute to Brother Shackelford, who coordinated this thing, and everybody else that helped and continue to help to make it a successful thing. It is a good thing. It's not something to play with. But we'll talk a little further down in the show. 21 Days of Prayer. 21 Days of Prayer. All right, guys, y'all know what it is. Y'all know how we do on Tuesday night, Real Talk Tuesday, the #1 podcast in Georgetown County right now. Okay. Yeah, we'll bomb that. But I wouldn't be that without you guys if you guys didn't tune in and think and I'm not going to insult your intelligence. So I have to keep bringing good quality information in front of you to keep you not only entertained but informed. And tonight, you know how we do. Let me go ahead and bring them to the stage. Y'all go ahead and get it together. Clap it up. Clap it up. Yeah. There he is, the mayor of Andrews, South Carolina. Sir, welcome to Andrews, the podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me. Glad to be back. How's things going out there?
I appreciate you. You were instructed to come back over here by your opponent. So thank you for sending him back, Mr. Opponent. But we'll get to you later. Sir, how's your week? How's it been? I know town hall's coming up on the 19th. Anything you want to catch the people up on? Go ahead, sir.
No, I think you had the agenda up there. There's quite a few things on the agenda. If you could pop that back up and talk real briefly about that. Nothing.
So you know how to set a meeting, I see. Curious.
Oh, man. Yeah, doing that for a while.
Curious. All right, so let's get this. You're not giving us no misinformation. I mean, this is gonna be a long night again tonight, guys. You see, I got my shirt on tonight. Hey. I don't even know. Can you see this shirt?
It's a nice shirt.
Can you see the color of it? Because
Nuts.
the reason I'm asking is because it's a green screen behind me, and so if it was a blue screen, you couldn't see me. But the whole thing, anyway, you can see it. But there it is, the agenda on the screen.
Yeah, of course, it's standard, all the way down through 8. So you have a presentation there from the coordinator of Horry County Police for the 15th Circuit Law Enforcement Network. So he'll bring us some information, also the financial mortgage and insurance. And that young lady, I spoke with her. She was actually at the Heritage Festival and had some interesting things.
With Miss Anderson?
Yes.
Okay.
They were together, and I listened to a pitch, and I think it's and it involves not just finance and housing, first-time homeowners and that kind of business. So I think that's great information for our citizens. So she'll be able to provide us just a brief overview, and then later on we will schedule something for her to come, and she'll have to be in a place that she can accommodate a large crowd, and again to continue to share that information. So it should be interesting. And new business down there, first reading of the amended business license ordinance. So again, we've always had a business license, and so we have to update this amend it when necessary as the guidelines change. And so we'll present that on Thursday night. We will also be adding a few members to the board of Zoning and Appeals. So there's 2 new members coming on that board to fill the 2 vacancies we have. And then, of course, this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, as well as cancer. So we like to, again, to keep that on the forefront. And then just standard stuff, reports from the council. So good information. And we ask everyone to come out and participate in the town council meeting.
Exactly. Come out to the town council meeting. Come get informed. All right. Come do yourself a service and your town a service. That will be on October 19th, Thursday, October 19th. And town hall meetings are every 3rd Thursday of the month. Okay.
Yes.
And is there a let's wait for that, man.
Hey,
and I'm gonna tell you right now,
we missed our segment on football. Now we got to.
No. That's why I'm slowing this down. Because listen, I got to turn the comment section off for a second. I got to turn the comment section off because see, they get me hype. And so I got to turn that off so I can't see that but yeah, we got to talk our football because we're getting ready to move into the playoffs here soon, and I think if we can get healthy, I think we got a chance to make a deep run in this year's playoffs. Of course, this past Friday, we took on the Blazers of Kingstree, South Carolina, and they put on a nice homecoming. Nice, just all the way around. Not all the way around because we did beat them. Let me go ahead and just put that out there. Okay, but I heard they did it big, but we did win the game. Not that it matters that much, but we did win the game. I'm just going.
Which conference game? That was huge. Right.
And that's a big part of what I was talking about right there. But some thoughts on this past Friday's game. And I'm gonna run through some shots here.
Yeah, I think it was a little. We had a little slow start, but I think from the end of the first quarter on through, the Yellow Jackets played great Yellow Jackets ball. Big plays by a lot of our standard. I think we have about 4 or 5 of our young players that are highlighted this week as Player of the Week, and so they had a great performance. I think there's still some work to be done in the secondary. Too many, and I think a couple of long plays for a touchdown got called back. But again, that showed some. I'm not sure why that is, but I'm sure coach will address that. But we had too many balls caught in, deep behind the D backs. But the offense,
fortunately, no. Go ahead. What you was about to say about the offense?
Yeah, so the offense was clicking really, really well. I think the run from both LeVon, AJ, Brandon, All those guys were doing very well. And of course, our front line, and I'll switch back to the defense when you're looking
Mm-hmm.
at Davion, Mr.
Jacoby Sanders,
Sanders.
55.
Call those guys are pressure cookers, man. They keep pressuring their quarterback. Quarterback was really, really good. His strong arm, he could move about. But these guys got him out of the pocket often, and made some plays before it was time. Young Blakely, Luke Blakely, back in the middle. The corners held it down. Again, with the exception of those couple plays that they got behind him. So I think overall, I think we're proud of the performance of those guys. And again, they kept us in the running. There was a conference game. This Friday night is going to be the last conference game, so we have to win this one to be playing, so we can have home field advantage and play home the following week. Otherwise, we'll be traveling.
No doubt. Yeah, I this week, man, salute to Mr. Brandon Cumbie. He's the podcast player of the week. He's a junior, and he's an all-state defensive back. He's going to be going off here. Him and Mr. Khalil Dorsey, they're going to be heading off to, let me see who this one is. That's Khalil. And where's Brandon? To the Underclassmen Challenge. Let me do a proper reading of this, saluting them young men. It's an official invite. The Joanne Langfit Underclassmen Challenge. I've never heard of that, but I'm super excited to go. Brandon Cumbie, he's going to be representing the red team, and Khalil Dorsey. Where we at, Khalil? Yeah, I'm moving a little slow on the boards tonight. My engineers, they had to get back to Guatemala. They had some.
Yeah, I heard it stepped out on you tonight.
Yeah, they say they got a wedding down there. I don't know.
Hey, check this out too. Here's something I saw on the high school page. So we have another one of our hard hitting, tough guys, but very soft spoken, Mr. Zion Moyd.
Yes. Go ahead.
So Mr. Moyd is this year's South Carolina Jag Career Association Vice President of the Civic Awareness, and he will be traveling to Washington, D.C. for this year's National Student Leadership Conference with Coach Wallace. So that's huge. So, again, when we promote, we don't want to promote just sports, but we want to get the academic part of that, because, again, this sports thing this could be the last time these young men are playing football, because the next level gets very competitive. So then the academics part of this thing should be in the forefront. And so we want to certainly highlight Mr. Zion for performing both on and off the field in the classroom and that kind of business, and just being a great, upstanding young man, very respectful. And so shout out to him and his family, Pastor Darryl Moyd and his lovely wife, and again, for raising a good young man, and that's going to do great things for us. So we're very proud of him.
Absolutely. And Jag, we're talking military, right?
I'm not sure. I saw that, of course we know that acronym to be Judge Advocate Generals.
Yes.
But when it's aligned with the civic awareness, so I'd have to get a little
okay. That's where my brain went immediately.
Yeah, it's a civic awareness. He's the president of civic awareness. That could very well be that, but I don't want to misspeak on that piece. So we just want to congratulate. Because again, you're going to, you're the selected one to go to Washington, D.C. to represent. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. So we want to certainly encourage him and his family. I'm not sure the family's going to be traveling with him, but it's a big deal. I spent some time up in D.C., so it's pretty wild up there.
Well, I have no doubt that young man can handle himself, man, on that field. He reminded me like of what's the guy name from old school linebacker from Chicago, not Richard Dent, Mike Singletary. Mike didn't do a bunch of cussing and all that stuff like that, but he was live, and that's what that kid is like out there. He keeps it going on that sideline, man. So again, salute to him. You know what it is. I'm gonna get him on if I can tomorrow. So if somebody's watching, please let him know that I'm looking to get in contact with him. I definitely want him to come on and share that with the Welcome to Andrews podcast family. Again, you said this week we are hey, Veronica, don't put his name in your comments, okay? And just let him comment, you know.
Hey, well, I'll tell you this. And again, this is your show, but I'm gonna let everyone know I am not on here tonight for any foolishness. I don't come in here for any foolishness, and I'm not going to entertain anything that is not professional. And I will tell you that right
and
now.
that's
That's what's happening right now. Those girls can go back to sleep. We're here to talk about the business of Andrews and where we're taking this town. This is not tonight pot shot. I mean, they can take pot shots, but that's fine. But I'm here for the business of the town, and I'm not here for any clown show. So they can go get another extra hour of sleep if that's what they intended to do tonight.
That's what I've been encouraging them to go do something else. So
I don't have time for it.
So yeah, because it's but hey guys, listen, I'll make time for that tomorrow though, okay? I got to give them some way to release this energy because I don't want them walking around out there, just all pent up energy. But yeah, so what I was saying is we got Lee Central this week. Let's focus on something that matters, jacket football. Got Lee Central coming in this week. I don't know. Have you got any intel on Lee Central?
No, not yet. I'm gonna have to do a little work on that. But again, here's the concern: is that some of our star players are injured. So I think AJ is going to be out. AJ is walking around now with a boot. So AJ is out. LeVon is going to be playing, but a lot of times he play through the pain. So hopefully he's going to be fine to go. And Brandon may be nursing a couple of injuries, But again, that's to be expected coming out of a ball game. You're going to have some bumps and bruises. But we got a good trainer down there, and so hopefully get those guys back ready to go. But it's like any other game. We got to have to minimize the mistakes. Hey, that young man is showing us a lot here. When he gave the opportunity, Mr. George Costa, the kicker, and he is doing a fantastic job.
Hey, listen. He's a podcast player to watch. You don't get on that list. I'm down there. I'm watching this thing up close.
Yeah,
I'm watching him, man. I'm so excited for that young man, to see him when he helping his team and watching him when he run off the field after it's just like that's that brotherhood of football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
and typically you don't have the kicker being that much energy and bringing the team together. But this young man has a special leadership ability to bring these guys and bring some excitement when they see him performing. Because for a while we were really tempting more 2-point conversions than we were kicking the ball. We saw him doing kickoffs and that kind of business, and know that he's very very accurate in what he does. And so, given the opportunity for the extra points, he's been nailing it.
Yeah,
so very excited for him.
Yeah, the team will give him.
Hey, perhaps some of your followers can come out and support these kids as opposed to getting on here with, things that doesn't matter. That's what we need grown-ups to do, is have grown-ups come out and support these kids. Let's be adults and come on out and because the rest of this stuff is nonsense.
Man, now you sounding like you trying to do the impossible with some of these right here.
Hey, that's what our future is there. That's
Yeah. And see, again, this is what they I mean, this is the work.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in the schools. Not as much this past year as I have before, but but anytime we get to engage with our young kids.
Do they accuse you of trying to use the school to campaign?
I haven't heard something recently that was kind of but see if they really know me. And they know when I first got here in 2015, I was actually assistant coach along with the great Alan Poston. And I learned a lot from him. All these years I played ball, I learned a lot from him. And but that's where my heart is. My heart is with the kids. My heart is with our seniors, because those in between those age groups should be working hard, not, causing issues or causing problems for your town and bashing your town. We got to get out here and put the work in. So if you're not out there with these kids or doing something positive, then I'd rather you just stay out of my way.
Yeah, that's why because I have no use for them. I completely have no use for them. I completely have no use for them. But like I said, I'll waste the time and get into their life a little bit. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing. Again, you don't see them out here on the ground. Well, we about to shift right off into it because that's what I see. I saw where Baber said something about misinformation, and that means that somebody's spreading lies. Now, what have you spread that's a lie?
I'm going to give you what I can show in writing. So anything that's coming from me, at town, it's a town business. It's going to be again documented as we always do. And so, if it's referenced to, because the most recent thing here that's been released is actually it's been released long before this past week, which is the downtown master plan. And that downtown master plan was a work in progress. Okay, so this is not just wait for an election time to release this. This thing has been in the works. This is a very professionally done product, done by professionals, architects, engineers, designers, just really, really smart people. As this Arnett Muldrow out of Greenville, South Carolina, who does this for a living across the country. And so these things.
What's the purpose of that plan? What is the ultimate? Why is that plan important? You telling us you got a plan? Baber said he got a plan. Look,
well, let me tell you something about that. I am a planner by trade. My last job in the military was the chief of future operations, which is to design plans for organizational redesign to combat operations. My role then was to be able to see from 30 days out to at least 5 to 10 years for this organization. That encompassed all of the Middle East. Okay, how our unit at that time serviced the entire Middle East. Okay, so when you start talking about planning, and we'll get to the leadership portion here in a minute, that's what I did for a living. So this plan encompasses all that. That is the ability to visualize and have a vision for what your town can be. So a lot of assessment in many different areas has to happen. So we had 10 different roundtables with getting input from the community, from the business owners, from the school, you name it. We had them out there, and these people were selected.
Were the pastors invited? I'll name it.
We didn't invite pastors. We invited leaders, and some of them were pastors. And so we still have that list of people because we wanted to make sure that the entire town was represented there, all aspects of it. And I don't have the list in front of me. We can get that for you and post it. And
I would love to see that list.
Now, many of them, a lot of folks didn't show up. Now, there were certain groups that were filled. We even did a second turn on the business owners for whatever reason. Again, communication probably breakdown. I'm not sure, but we wanted to have the input, just like the work we put into with the Black River design. So myself, the administrator, we were both on the steering committee that helped pull those pieces together. So studies went out for both of these projects I'm talking about, the Black River and for the Andrews plan. So this was an 8 to 9 month process where these folks would come in on the ground, spend time on Andrews, talk to these different leaders, and okay, how do we now develop a plan, a very strategic plan that will address all things from economic development opportunities for, housing, what Andrews.
What were some of the information that came out of this plan? What did you guys learn in this plan, in this study?
Well, the great thing about it is Andrews is geographically positioned to now grow faster than any other city in the United States. I mean, not in the United States, in the state. And I say that because of again, it sits right here between these two booming, sometimes I'll say three booming cities: Charleston, Myrtle Beach, and you can even say Florence. And so a lot of the and those guys are bursting at the seam. I think everybody knows that. And so a lot of that, the requirements, storage, warehouse space, the ability to move to and from where their companies are for, like, I think in a couple of weeks, I'll be meeting with Bowen, leadership from Bowen Institute. So they want to hear what this plan and what Black River is going to do, the initiative that's going to come out of this thing. So I'm excited about that.
All right, you got to whoa, unpack that. Now, you said you about to have a meeting with Boeing.
Yes.
About what?
About Andrews and the initiatives that are coming out of the Black River. Again, when this park comes in, then what demands will it cause? You're talking about lodging, dining, all those things, recreation, all those things that will create these economic opportunities. That's what the state park. Then you take that now, and Andrews now has a plan that is embedded into that let us know that, okay, here are some opportunities coming. Let's go ahead and make sure we market this town to be able to receive these business. Not only that, but to generate interest inside of the town. So a lot of entrepreneurs right now should be able to be born out of these concepts. Okay, and it's a plan. Now it's got to be resourced. So anybody can have a big idea. Before I came in here,
all right, let me stop you right there real fast.
Okay.
There's a big idea right there.
Okay. All right.
He says, I don't know how many that manual that you had, you said 75 pages.
Yes, that's correct.
Well, Babe was already saving the time, money right now. He solved it in a flyer.
Well, you got to understand that even this document you're showing, as well as the 75 pages, which is, again, very detailed plan. A lot of it's conceptual. So now the next level of work has to be done now to resource it and then plan out over time. Then how do these things are phased in? It's not going to happen overnight. So, for example, the revitalization part of that, which is the revitalization of the downtown, that is embedded in there. You saw I post, I think, one of the pictures that kind of captures one of the concept. And so, to me, that's probably the simplest part of the revitalization. And a lot of it is happening. Well, not a lot of it. Some of it's happening right now with the work that the citizens are doing in terms of decorating, seasonal decoration. What we're talking about is things to change the face permanently. Okay. So that's where you get the experts telling you, here's what it can look like. And then that plan shows you in depth the possibility, the way. So I had a one-pager when I came in that really this was ideas. It wasn't going to go anywhere. It focused me. And that's how that's why we're where we are right now, because I had the big idea. But I also knew that there were more work to be done.
So did you work with did you work with
Go ahead.
So in this piece that Baber was talking about last night, where he did that initial interview with Gab, right?
Uh-huh.
And he was saying he failed to mention this plan. Now he recently said he came up with this plan over a cup of coffee. I don't know what kind of coffee he had. I want some of that. And that who have you been? What I'm asking is, please, how long have you been working on? Is this did this again? You said 8 or 9 months, but before that, I'm kind of frustrated because I hope you're trying to help me out here to get what I'm trying to say out, because
I got
it's annoying to me. This is very misleading to the people. What he's doing, what he's saying, and it's very disingenuous because he tried to copy, and I noticed that they try to repeat things that you say, and
You got listen. Okay, well let me kind of put it in perspective. Um, Even the one pager I had, that's not a plan. Those are ideas. Okay, those are wild ideas without having any realistic expectation of those things coming, because you don't know what else is going on, what else is more important. So now in this plan, there's a lot of work that's been done over the 8 years with respect to the infrastructure, the things that people are not tangible, people don't have an appreciation for until something happens.
Is
So
that
I think
is the infrastructure? So and I apologize for cutting you off.
that's okay.
Um, okay, you got Little Caesars coming in the spring. Last week you mentioned the company from Oneida,
My take.
the fabric company. You mentioned now you have a meeting scheduled with some folks from Boeing.
Yes.
Is infrastructure a concern of theirs when they come in? I'm sure it is. What is that conversation like? Why
Oh,
why
absolutely.
why 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 are they still saying, you know what, we're gonna bet on Andrews?
Because they see the possible. I mean, these are business. When businesses come in, they do a market analysis. These are folks not just popping up just because of just a geographic location. So these folks do a market analysis. Where's the best place to put? For example, the gentleman from MyTech. I asked that question because if you're coming from Miami to Andrews, I want to know, how did that happen? Now I travel around the state, and every opportunity we get, we promote Andrews and we tell them what the goodness of it. And a lot of it is infrastructure too. Where are you going with that? Do you own your own water and sewer? Yes. Some of them look for tax breaks. Some of those things we can't offer, but if they have, like in this case with this fabric distribution company, they know we have the large warehouse spaces. In fact, this gentleman drove down 41 just to see how would his trucks move from Andrews to Charleston, and he spoke with some, he spoke to some friends, a guy who was familiar with 41, and he told him about Jamestown. He said, you slow down when you go through Jamestown. So this guy did his homework. So they look at this thing, and he's talked about the tax base. He said, you can't afford to be in Miami anymore. I'm glad for that, because he came to Andrews. So the work that we put in terms of going out and marketing, we have this, state of the town, state of the county address. There's a lot of business people in there. The things that we do right now, this gets out, and then you pique their curiosity, and they come and check it out, and then here it is. It's not a lie. It's not misleading. It's actually what we have and what we can offer. And then when you look at, the ability to move product by train, because I think now we have a spur that was developed off of Wire Mill Road. We have the little airport, which you can bring in small aircraft to move parts. And I'm hoping that will appeal to the Boeing folks when we get them down here in a couple of weeks. And then the road network. So when you start talking about train, planes, automobiles, and that kind of business, it's really about the mode of transportation that you can offer the business industry, that they can move their product. Now, the other piece of that is going to be the challenge, and always is across this country or the world, is the workforce. Is the workforce
that part.
ready? We've been running a program or partnered with Helping Hands for over the years. And again, thanks to the Church of God for housing, providing them space. And then at one point they had their own place, and I think they're back now. But they had a boot camp that teaches our young men and women how to prepare themselves for the interview. Work keys, those kind of things. Those are the things that the town has been doing for years, partnering with other folks. I know some want to lead to believe that McClary doesn't play well with others. Well, there's no truth in that. McClary doesn't play well with those who are trying to hurt Andrews. Let's get that straight. But in terms of partner and network, that's what I did all my life, and that's why we are where we are. I just talked to two more grant initiatives that's available for us today. We'll work those things, but it's there because of the network that we have placed Andrews in. People believe in that. we're doing this walkability study that looks at the ability for people, not just automobiles, but people, whether it's handicap, walking. How do you get to and from your house to your business or your doctor by foot or by ground, bike, or wheelchair? We're in bad shape right now because like I've talked about before, out there on Gatway Road going to the elementary school, there's no sidewalks for the kids.
I thought about those kids this morning when I went out. It's about 40 degrees this morning, and now the kids from Jones Avenue are
Well, I
walking
went
to
out there this
school.
morning. I was out there at 7:15 along with the crossing guard just to get an idea of because again, another complaint is that, oh, well, the mayor's involved in everything. Well, here, check this out.
Who else is
Yes.
involved? That's the whole thing, and it's the ones who running their mouth the most is the ones who doing nothing at all.
Well, when you understand true leadership, that you're responsible for everything that happens or fail to happen, then you better know what's going on in the area that you're responsible for. That's basic leadership. So what's my involvement, my concern about the changes or the kids now having to walk a mile away from the school is because now those kids now, and before they get to that school, they're in the public, which we're responsible for the safety. So if they're walking from Jones Avenue,
From
Jones and Myrtle
the
Road,
trailer park, Myrtle Road, as far as Myrtle, from the streets that are affected, Jones Avenue, Myrtle Road, Butternut Street,
yeah.
Privet Street, and Short Street.
So then I want to know how safe that is. And the only way to know that for sure is to get out on the ground and watch it unfold. So I spent some time speaking with the crossing guard this morning, and she said she didn't see in these last 2 days, or these first 2 days of this new change of the policy, she haven't seen an influx of kids.
Okay.
But the challenge is that when these kids come, and they've been doing this for a while, they'll come from Jones and they will cut through the Elmwood area and go to Stop and Shop to purchase whatever they do over there, and then navigate between L&L and the Christian Academy to get to their place, which is not safe because now they're crossing at a place that is not designated for crossing, and that is a very busy. Thank God, for God's mercy, man, because that's a dangerous highway. So now, not only we have them coming across 521, they're having to come across Lanes Highway or MLK, which is another high-speed road. So I don't want to. I think there's some more work to be done in terms of the safe walking for these kids. I would just hope that they've done the homework to think through that before something bad happens. So So I checked it out this morning.
Yeah, that's because my mind went on this morning when I left out. It was pretty cold up here, and when you said that the crossing guy says that she hasn't seen an influx, an increase, or it kind of makes me think, well, are they even going to school now?
Yeah, there was one young lady came, and there's a lot of things I can talk about with respect. She was by herself.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's a freshman in high school. I happen to know her and know her parents, and but it just didn't seem. I just had an uncomfortable feeling because as you come down, I think it's Harper. The sidewalks stop almost a half a block before it gets to 521. Then the kids have to cross over. But there's no designated crossover to pick up the sidewalk on the left side of the road. And again, everybody's driving faster than they probably should. And so it doesn't make me feel comfortable about children out there. And we don't know what the ages are. And again, I don't want to pass any judgment because I have not seen the new bus route. And I spent a little time on Cottonwood, and the bus is still coming on that side, but you're leaving the entire Jones Avenue, and all of those young kids kind of at risk of exposed.
Yeah, and just like that, the EMS was brought up just now. And there's no, we're still dealing with that on top of all of that. So that's why I would tell you, man,
look,
it's a lot of work to be done. A lot of work to still be done. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I told someone today, we were giving up on, we Andrews, many, many, many years ago, for whatever reason, they would just let it slide off into the Black River. And they are now seeing that Andrews is an important community for a lot of different reasons, and it has the potential, and it's starting to show the potential to recover and be someplace, become a destination. Say there are folks out there that didn't want that to happen, still don't want that to happen. So these fights that I'm having to battle to get our hospitality taxes back, to now have them reassess our property and to ensure that, we got an entire half a block they have assessed at $223,000 when their pavilion, the county's pavilion, is assessed at $293,000. Make that make sense. A pavilion that just a concrete slab and a roof and bathroom, nice, but that's $293,000. The building we're currently in, the $3 million that we placed in the other one, only assessed at $223,000. So what is that? What is the so what to that? The so what to that is that if we needed to go out and get a loan for something, our property value is so low, we're not going to be able to get anything for it. That is intentional. That is intentional. And that's just not this property. Andrews have several pieces of land throughout the town. I mean, the ball field, that's almost, I think that's over $1.2 million.
Mm-hmm.
5 little ball fields and a concession stand. So, for people out here bashing, and what they got to understand is that when they see me come out front in front of a camera, that's the last resort, because I've tried on multiple levels to try to talk to and have folks come to the table. But again, we are not where we used to be. We're not going to sit back and allow Andrews to be ignored. We're not going to ask for anything that we are not entitled. And I'm not going to take a back seat to that. Those who are talking now and interested in running, they're part of that same process. I mean, it's in the language. You can hear it. It frightens you.
My thing is that, again, and I'll be having that kind of time, that kind of free time, I guess. The man that's running against you,
mm-hmm.
And I guess politics will make you say some crazy stuff, but this is some newfound. I mean, where was the concern 3 years ago? Where was the concern 4 years ago? Like, where were you at during the flood of 2015? And then, so you want these people to believe that in 3 months, 2 months, or however long it's been since he filed, he's convinced, and he knows he's got the solution.
Listen, that's impossible. Okay, I've been here 8 years and still learning about this job and how to make it better. The things that I even thought about prior to, again, I mentioned again this Mike Tyson quote: "Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth." Okay, an idea is great; those are nice, but bringing it to fruition is a challenge. There's no way, you see this thing bubbling back. That can happen anytime. How do you respond to it? I'm not out here, as these pictures show, for show. This is who I am. Leadership says that when a leader needs to be at the most critical point at that time, not delegating that to someone else. And if you don't have the manpower on the ground,
you know how to delegate circumstances and situations.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me.
I don't think it makes sense in no place. Like, but
think about it. If it was as bad as some would say it is, you wouldn't want to take on that task and have another full-time job. That just doesn't pass the common sense test. That doesn't make sense. I could be working somewhere else, but the requirements here, the day-to-day decisions that have to be made, that is critical in managing these limited funds, it's impossible. You will put this town at a serious risk. That is not, because again, you can delegate authority, but you cannot delegate responsibility. I can give you the authority to go do certain things, but it's still my responsibility if it fails. So all this parceling out, that kind of business that's talking, first of all, that is theoretically trying to change the form of government. And it's a mayor strong, so you're gonna have the responsibility whether you're there or not. And so,
and I think the folks that's pushing him to do this, they haven't educated him to this. Like he'd be the perfect puppet.
But they can't, because they're not there either. That's my point. They don't know what's happening in the town. Because they're not coming to the meeting. They're not talking to us. They're having private conversations. Mm-hmm. But I'm the guy and the staff and the chief of police.
Apparently in his church too. I mean, that's what he's saying, because that's what he said in the interview. He said he's gonna gut. He's gonna be an extension of the church. So,
well, that's a problem within itself. Because if I'm a pastor of a Baptist church or AME
or Muslim,
or Muslims. No, I agree, because then that's somebody need to go back and check the First Amendment. So then
I'm not a Muslim, by the way.
Yeah, if that's a true statement, it's concerning, because then how can it be an extension and everybody is that's not how it works.
Don't the church pay him? I mean, I don't know if you know or not. I think he get if a pastor's in here. So if the church is paying him, the church is his boss. You're gonna do what your boss say. That's just how that works. I'm sorry, you ain't gonna work for somebody and then, you know what I mean, be at odds with that person. You know what I mean? Because no, I don't agree with that. That's not that's just basic math.
Yeah,
like it don't work like that. So
I can only speak for the demands.
I don't think you're preaching for free, is it?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been a preacher. I don't think it's, I'm sure that could be down the road somewhere, but and I don't know the inner operations of
Andrew, y'all better get y'all butt out there and vote now.
But I know the demands of this job requires you to be there or somewhere else promoting this town. It ain't going to happen just sitting here. And so I'm just telling you that those things that are being said right now is taking it too lightly and is a recipe for disaster. Okay, I know this. I've been on the inside. Everything is not hunky-dory around here. So you got to be prepared to respond when things break. When contracting. I mean, that's a whole government contract is a whole nother beast. And again, I've got more than a decade in contracting at the federal level and here.
Sir, let me stop you for a
second. You can't do, man.
So let me to the people of Andrews. All right. If y'all listen, here's what it boils down to. Let me talk for y'all for a second. Let me holler at y'all a second right here. It's a business decision, right? Now, we getting all of this for $600 a month. And y'all want to mess that up? Do y'all think, I mean, honestly, ask yourself. I'm talking about members of Baby's Church and all these people. Ask yourself. He gonna ask yourself now. Are we gonna get the same? It's your choice. At the end of the day, it's your choice. I would recommend to the people of Andrews, get off your ass and get out there and vote. That's just what I'm saying.
Look, I was in a meeting in Columbia last week, and it was about streetscape. The folks at Main Street, South Carolina, very good organization that we probably should be a part of, but it was about $30,000. I think it's $30,000. I know they'll fix me tomorrow if I'm misquoting, but they help you develop these plans. So the plan that we have, they do those things with respect to Main Street. And so one of the things that came out of that, which I don't do very well, is tooting they call it tooting your horn. Let people know what's going on. I'm the type guy, I'm going to go get the job done, and prayerfully people will see that, because I don't have time to toot my horn. But I see now when you get into an election cycle like this where your work is being, you know, either downgraded because I haven't done anything in 8 years. And again, no, I haven't. I haven't done one thing in 8 years, but I'll tell you what, my team has. They've worked their butts off. You see what I'm saying? So it ain't just McClary. It is a team effort. It's a small team, but they're working hard. And so for someone, anyone to criticize and downplay the work that is going into this place, it ain't perfect, but they're working their butts off to make it happen. And you don't get $18 million by sitting around. You know, this whole thing about working harder to get grants. Grants is on a cycle. You can have a limited amount of grants open at the same time coming from these three agencies that we typically, you're talking about CDBG, you're talking RIA, and you're talking about USDA. So again, and then you're going to have, in many cases, you're going to have to match those with monies out of your pocket to ensure that you have skin in the game. So you're not going to go out here and get all the grants that you qualified for because you're going to have to now pay into it. So it is a process. And there's not one grant cycle that we've missed in this 8 years to get things done. Otherwise, we wouldn't have gotten the work done on the infrastructure that people don't even see. They think it's just pipes. No, you got lift stations. You have mortars in those lift stations mortars in those lift stations that calls in the neighborhood of $10,000, $20,000 that can go like that when people decide to put trash, foreign objects in these things and burn them up. You know, so to downgrade what this job is all about or what managing a town is without having a staff that is large enough to do that is misleading at best.
Yeah, it's about as misleading. It's about this on the same level misleading as when Scott asked him the question about whether or not he attends town hall meetings, and the answer was cut out of there.
Well, the answer is yes, one. And that was the one after he filed, he came in and spent.
That's the one he came and talked to me.
Yes, that's the only one.
Said he wanted to have a coffee and talk to me without the camera. I'm about this, boy.
Well,
did you know I keep a camera on me?
Well, and again, the answer is not, and I'm not bashing it. That's just the reality.
That's the facts. This real talk Tuesday. You can't take the real talk. You know what the block button look like. Help yourself out. Block me. Block it. Okay. This is real talk. Yeah, he came to me. He before the meeting because I got there early that day, and he came to me. He never met him before. You know what I mean? I just heard that I saw the video. And of course, he put it out in the public place, and so boom, I jumped right on it. And I guess his handlers, the 20 band man and No Guts, I guess they was telling him because neither of them, you know, like what I guess they told him, hey, you need to talk to him, and I don't know. Somebody must have told him I was reasonable. I'm not reasonable. I'm just as ignorant as I can be.
I take that. No, you're not. You are reasonable because when the truth and the facts, and I've known you a long time, and I know you. This is your podcast, and you do what you know. People, I don't try to control. I can't, and that ain't in my business. It's yours, and I appreciate this platform to be able to talk to the people. No, you're one of the nicest guys you want to meet. And I see it in your work out there with the kids. I've known you for a long time. So I know who Jamal Richardson is. And I know if I didn't have my stuff in order, I'd be on that same list when it comes down to Andrews. So that's where you and I see eye to eye. If it's good for Andrews, we're moving forward together on it. And I appreciate that. But let's get down to really, and I've known my opposition since I've been here, you know, and it's done some good things for the town in terms of, you know, the mobile ministry out and cleaning in certain areas of the town. That's all good. And there, it was 2 other churches, and I recognize those leaders from those religious institutions. I recognize them because, again, my reason for doing that is that I wanted to promote more because we know that the community
is this part of the process off-putting to you? Is it off-putting to you that you knew this man for this big word protracted period of time, and in the last couple of months now, you the worst thing since I don't know, flat tires. Is that off-putting? Is that an off-putting part of the process?
Well, to run, anybody can run. I don't, I'm okay with that. But then to say now, as you said, in these last few months that we haven't accomplished anything, that's a slap not in my face, but in everybody who has worked for the town and done some hard stuff. For him to decide now, here's what's concerning. And his words, he was encouraged by others. He mentioned Raymond Newton and some local leaders. And those very same people he's talking about has been a thorn in this in my side, in this town's side, when it comes down to this town moving forward. Okay. So if you're coming into this so you can really make a difference because you've seen things that ain't going right, that's nonsense. But to be encouraged by others to take on a responsibility this important to the lives of the people, and then me knowing the level of work that has to go into this thing to keep it afloat, is a little concerning, a lot concerning. Because if your heart is not into this, man, it's going to break you. And many nights we're out getting things done, traveling. I don't charge the town that stuff, but that's just me. But if you're coming in here half baked or thinking that this is a cakewalk, you're going to realize that it's not. And
well, he says, and I mean, he says that he can delegate it. He got an assistant mayor, which is the mayor pro tem, and he can give these responsibilities give these responsibilities, his words, to town council. Is that even legal?
It's not legal. You can do that, but it's not legal. That the former governor he's speaking of is in a council strong, weak mayor form of government. That's the terms that's used in the handbook. It is illegal for a council member to interfere with the day-to-day operations. The council member's job is to vote on the budget that is given. That's verbatim. The budget that is given to the council is vote on that. Whether yay or no, this is where we're moving with this budget. It's a balanced budget. And the next thing to do is vote on any laws that are created, ordinances, those kind of things. And to then monitor, watch how we're doing it, because again, the staff and the mayor are the ones responsible for the day-to-day operations, verbatim out of the manual. So then when you start putting council members over the chief of police or the public works, you're completely in violation of the law.
And historically, because I did some research on this, strong council forms of government are the worst. They fail. Everything gets clogged up because everybody wants to be the head honcho. And that's just from the data. And I'm gonna put that together, just a little anecdote, but just in because when I listened to him saying that, and then I realized, okay, that's what he's saying. He's being put in a trick bag, in my opinion, because he doesn't understand that part of and he also said that you didn't have no experience when you came in there, and then he cleaned it up a little bit. He said politically, but he don't understand. He don't understand.
Give me 30 seconds.
Go ahead. Help him understand the political aspect of that. Just help him, brother. Help.
The military is a strong arm of the government. Okay. So then I have 30 years, and not all of those. Again, I was a young lieutenant. I didn't, the politics, we didn't see it, but it's in there. Now, as I elevated up to colonel, lieutenant colonel, into the executive part of my career, it is all politics, regardless of what they say. I understand. I've 30 years in federal government. That's in contracting, that's in housing, you name it, everything that I've learned in the government or in the military is applied here. It's the same thing just now on the local level. But when you start dealing with contracts and how that process should work, you have to know that. Any guessing is going to get you in trouble. We've let many contracts here in the last 8 years, and they've all passed through Commerce, Department of Commerce, all these others who bird dog or watch these, the movement of money and all of that is done. Otherwise, we would not have been able to get any. So I know I had 30 years of experience coming in here at the highest level. I spent 5 years in the Pentagon working with the most senior Department of Defense civilians and military, primary civilians.
You ever seen you ever seen Greenleaf?
Yeah, I've seen Greenleaf.
Church politics could be kind of real too now. Come on now.
Politics is in the church. So it's everywhere. But again, when you start talking about government work, you can't run that like you run in the church or any other organization. There are strict guidelines, and you can't take that lightly. Otherwise, and if we did, we would have been in trouble a long time before, and we have not. You can talk to anyone up in the Commerce. Andrews is good. So that's 8 of the $10 million we have has already been contracted workers done. Clean. And that's the way it'll always be. So, and I don't take that lightly. And for people who don't know, money doesn't come funneling down to the town and we divvy it out the way. No, work is done. That invoice is sent back up to the state. The money is sent down the exact amount that pays out the contractors. But there's the management part of that. Someone says, "Oh, do they look outside for assistance?" Yeah. Again, our staff are trained staff now. They go out and they can do some of those things. But then when you start talking like the SCIP grant, $7 million, there's a lot of moving pieces. So we're partnered with the COG and those grant writers there, so they can manage.
He mentioned that. He mentioned that also too. He was like, I don't know, because go ahead and game him on that and what the COG is and how do you guys work with the COG since you don't know how to work with nobody.
Yeah. So the Waccamaw Regional Council of Governments is an entity that is born out of from the governor's office that kind of gives some oversight or some assistance, not oversight, but assistance to not only the municipalities, but to the county and other agencies. There's fun, out of that comes a part of their program, workforce. I can't remember the proper title, but then you have the aging community program. So it's a lot that the COG does, even for roads. So the CTC is a different entity, but they also have an office in there that deals with Department of Transportation. So a lot of things, a lot of expertise that the COG has that can assist us as we go. We're members of that. I am a board member that I meet I think it's either second Monday of the night. I'm a board member along with some of the other state representatives and mayors and those things. So we know what's going on. I mean, this agent program that they have over at the rec, we have oversight of that. So you have to be plugged in many different things. This is a real time-consuming job if you do it right. But if you want to get it positioned and sit down and then delegate it out to somebody else who may or may not have, most of these guys are working. So yeah, so Rule Technical Committee, I guess, yes, there it is. So there's a lot of we leverage all the help we can get, and it's still not enough. What's that 72? Somebody's doing the math on my on the phone. That's funny.
So what do you do with that $7,200 that we throwing on you? That's a lot of money for one man right there. Now. I mean, it's a lot of money right there.
Well, yeah, for a guy who's retired, I'm okay. God has blessed me. But I will tell you the way this system is set up. You have to have another job to take care of your family with, getting this level of money, right? That's not money. That's like a stipend. So I can understand the mayors of the past that have to work. If you're not a businessman or woman where you have income coming in, you have to go and then that takes you away from all these things. So you can see now all the things I'm talking about can really slip off the table. because the responsibility is still on that mayor. So this it is a double-edged sword, if you will. And so then having the flexibility to be available to do these things is really what's given us, the team, the opportunity to come, above ground from where we were back 10 years ago.
That's why they want it back.
Oh, it's listen, the wheels are on, or the train is on the track, and we're moving out. And that's because I wouldn't, please. Again, it was clearly stated, I'm running because someone encouraged me to run, because we want McClary out of the way, because he's learning, he knows too much. He knows now that we've been getting their hospitality taxes since 1999, somewhere in the neighborhood of $60,000 to $80,000 a year. Do the math. He now knows that we've devalued their property where they can't get any money to do anything. They know that we have taken advantage in other areas, and he's aware of it. He knows that we should have given up the money for this building as it states in the law. It's a pain. I'm a pain in their butt, because I'm only a pain in their butt because they won't do what they're supposed to do.
Well, he said he gonna get that money. That's what Baby said.
And see, that's interesting. So maybe that's a part of the deal. You get him out the way, and we'll release this money to you. And again,
that would be kind of dirty for a pastor to do something like that. That portrayed itself as a friend. That's just me talking. That's Welcome to Andrew's podcast talking right there.
Speculating, but what I'm saying to you, if you could say that with that level of confidence,
yes,
then it begs the question: what else is being talked about? But what they don't know, that ain't the work of the town. I mean, that's not. If you do that, you get the town that goes up. Then what are you going to do with the rest of the challenges we have? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Lipstick on a pig.
It doesn't make any sense. Just release it. We all go on about our business and live happily ever after. And you wouldn't have to deal with Frank McClary. But I'm not going anywhere.
They think you're gonna be the mayor forever and ever, never.
I don't plan to do that either. But but right now it's not the time for any changes for the reasons that I've heard.
Well, that'll be a good time for me to do this.
Mayor Frank McClary, a man on a mission, who understood the assignment: town budget, fiscal responsibility, town infrastructure, tackling neglected projects, town independence, making sure its citizens have the final say, town growth, paving the way for future investments. Re-elect Mayor Frank McClary to continue the mission of serving in the best interest of all the people of Andrews.
I appreciate the shout out.
For 7,200, anything I can do to help.
That's funny. That's a good one.
Bro, I wouldn't take that much stress. No.
Hey, no.
If you were truly a mean person, you would really be like, here, have it. There you go. Run with it.
Really, truly, because it's a lot. Man, look. I've had a fence built up to prevent me from going behind my house. I've had DHEC find me for a little small piece of property over here that I have that, we had a contract to come take it down, and they say, oh, you didn't do it right. But yet still the county can tear down this major building and nothing happens. I've got them trying to block me in every way. But guess what, man, with God on your side, these folks, none of these little things that they're doing is going to hurt, because we're going to move forward in spite of the little small turds that are in the road to try to stop the progress of this town. It ain't going to happen. I've had them coming left and right. I mean, and the reason this thing is up, because I wouldn't let them violate the policy. So you build a fence. I say, hey, thanks for the privacy. And going about my business. Listen, I'm an infantryman. I've slept under the stars, on a mat. I'm good. God has blessed me. I'm good. As long as he keep me in this position, I'm going to do what's right for the people, man. And those who don't understand, I wouldn't dare judge how a pastor's running his church based on somebody else's church. That ain't my business.
But he judging how you running the town based on what somebody else saying.
Yeah, come on now. Where's that okay? And then to sit down and knowing what right and the facts are, but to hear this rhetoric and again demeaning the work that has gone into this town and these people that are working hard and not making a whole lot of money, and to be attacked by folks that won't even come to a meeting. Are you kidding me?
Hey, if he ain't come to the meeting, he don't know what the pay is. He probably looking at this like right now, like, y'all ain't tell me that. I thought the mayor got about 50,000. Well, I heard a lot of people be like, yeah, I think the mayor make about 50,000. I'd be like, $7. He make like $600 a month.
Jamal, they know what it is by now. The purpose is to move me, cut out the festivals, cut out this, stop holding the county accountable, and all those other things, that just causes things to just unfold. And you got to understand, these festivals, man, the things that we do out here is to bring the community, get them out of the house. Let's get to know one another. How are you going to love that neighbor and you don't know who he or she is? You haven't interacted with them.
Yeah, that's a big thing. And for all of you, the ones of you who decided that you didn't want to fellowship this past time here, man, you missed a great festival. I'm gonna tell you right now, we didn't miss you. We had a good time, but we wish you'd been there to been a little better. So next year, you know what I mean, this will be all over.
And I'll say this too, not to cut across. When the DJ started to play, and that was late in the evening, play some things that are not, approved of, we shut that down. We wouldn't allow it to happen. And he's a good DJ. He just, he must have forgot where he was, and we shut that down. But you can't take one song and say this whole thing that's crazy.
Yes, you can if you a hater.
I mean, you look at it. Just, that's our guy. That's Mr. Langley.
Yep.
Yeah. So this young man, who was an Andrews born, was a top 15 contestant on the 2023 The Voice, came and performed live, man. Everybody should have been out there to support him, and a lot of people were. Mm-hmm. And he appreciate that. And so to all things for kids, man, it was an opportunity for people to come out. But what happened? You got that small percentage that want to cast, a cloud over what has happened. It doesn't make any sense to me. You got one event that blocks the road for a day, or the majority of the day, and it's a problem. One day. That's nonsense. Yeah, again, I'm glad you pushed this up, and I'm going to say a shout out to Bishop Michael Shackelford for pulling all these distinguished spiritual leaders together to pray for our town, to pray for all things, for things to get better. And so this is, I think, day 14. Matter of fact, Mr. Preacher Jeremiah Cumbie was on tonight at 8, brought a strong message. And these guys are, they're doing wonders. And all of them, if I'm not mistaken, the majority of them are from Andrews. So the love that this 21 days of prayer has done, I try to participate in as many of them as I possibly can, because we all need prayer. Prayer changes things, and that's where we are. People coming together, and I would hope everybody would get on board and join this movement. It's because it's going to happen. This is God's, for His people in Andrews. It's going to happen.
Thomas, we're going to table that conversation there for another show. We're getting close to the end of that, but that's a great question there. But we will bring that back up at a later date. Let's get through this season here. As a matter of fact, November 13th is the next Booster Club meeting. So, guys, get your applications in. You do not have to be in Andrews to be a part of the Booster Club. You can donate. You could and still be informed, through paperwork as far as what the Booster Club is doing and what it is. And I've been educated here. Miss Luana has been really giving me some good information as far as how the Booster Club works, because I will assume a lot of things. So look for that. But yeah, Thomas, we'll I don't know. I do know I've seen some new ads. That's all I'm saying. Now I'm not gonna put 2 and 2 together, but because 2 and 2 don't always equal 4, but it should. But sometimes you're not supposed to see that, I guess. I don't know.
Hey,
And no, I want to moderate the debate. There's nobody more fair than me.
hey, look, I've spoken with about 3 potential moderators. There will be one on the book. We will reach out to my opposition for some dates because the people need to hear us. People need to.
He watching. You listening? Jack, go tell him.
And so then, well, I can't force anybody to be there, but I will be there, and I will be talking to the folks,
and the people will be there.
So and then, again, this is a great platform to have our straight talk conversation, because I need people to understand. And I'll tell you one thing that this whole campaign has done is woke up a lot of people. I want to say shout out to our young people that have reached out to me and want to be a part of this movement. I haven't seen them a lot in the past, but they now know the importance of this election. And so I encourage them, because again, those are the ones that's going to take over, when we decide to go ahead and retire. So they got to get involved. And again, I've had some requests that they come in and sit down and understand a little bit better what's being put out there, so they can get real facts. Where's Andrews? Where's it going? What are the ideas? Tell me a little bit more about this 75-page document, and what does it mean to me? A young man said, hey, look, I have a number of children. I love Andrews. I came back to, he said he came back to Andrews. He's been all over the place. Now, he's in his mid-30s, but he have kids, and he said this is it. This is where his roots is. He wants his kids to enjoy his town, his hometown. So he wants to get involved, and that's what I encourage him. We have quite a few entrepreneurs out there that the opportunities for them to grow their business is right now. So one promise I made to them is, hey, when I go to these, some of these meetings, if they're available, come go with me, so I can introduce you to, again, the opportunity I had to sit with the bankers, the board members from the Conservation Bank up in Columbia a couple of weeks ago, where they, again, $5.8 million to purchase a track right there and near our property, Andrews' property, for this Black River. $5.8 million is, so the money is coming down, guys. It's happening. Don't be, like I say, stay focused. And don't be distracted by, the big ideas.
Big ideas. That's not big ideas. That's not a big idea. I promise you.
You really have to peel the onion back on some of these things that are being said, and really see what is good for the town. This is not about me or my opposition. This is about the future of Andrews. And if you're making decisions based on somebody else's wishes to move someone out of the way so they can do what they want to do, that's not about the people. It's about politics, bad politics.
That's listening to your bosses. That's what that is. That's your boss telling you to do something and you doing it. That's it.
Well, that's not good for the direction of this town, man.
No, I agree. Yeah.
And the other thing I want to make clear: this thing has started 30 years ago. A lot of the blame want to be shifted on this past 3 decades. Now, this thing, this system has been in place for many, many years, long before we got here.
It's not about the 30 years ago with them. It's about what they see now, and they know what's coming down the pipe. When I say they, the powers that be in Georgetown County, they know that this park is boom. They know that Andrews stands to be a breadbasket. Like, it sits right in the middle of this thing. So when you talk about support system, you're talking about, that's the halfway point in this 70-mile trail. People are going to be coming here to do these trails. And so they're going to need some place to eat. They're going to need some place to rent a kayak. They're going to need some place to rent a bike. So if Andrews is growing along with this park. I mean, tell me the town that you know about situated near a state park that's not vibrant and growing. And so it's valuable land, whether, we understand it or not. I would love to see us shift and our thinking, because some people, you may not be into hiking, you may not be into boating, you may not be into all of these things. Well, you don't have to be into them to be in the business of these things. Okay. You got to look at it more as, okay, what do they need, and what can I do to fill that need? You feel what I'm saying? Like, this is America, man. You got people that build houses for a living that's never picked up a hammer. Okay, so, but you gotta reach out to the town of Andrews, right? You can start here, right? And it's not about you, it's about the future, it's about the children. Where do you want to place these children with AI and everything coming about, with all the influx of all these foreigners coming into the country? Where, we're gonna be going away, then what's gonna be left there? You feel what I'm saying? So, get this plan. How can they get this? How can they get their hands on this plan, sir?
Well, on Friday, when we had this explosion on Facebook, we posted the link to that. So we'll repost it. In fact, I'll have the team post it on the Andrews on our Andrews Facebook page tomorrow. And they can go there and view those documents. This is a very in-depth plan that gives us a vision for the future. Mm-hmm. And now those things, here's the other part of this, and it's you can massage some of that stuff to, I plan to bring in teams that or other folks to take a look at it and say, okay, well, what do you think about this? Because not everybody was a part of the planning process. We did open it up. People came, those who were interested, and I just don't think that they believe that we were really doing this and that they didn't show up. But it's here. But all is not lost. We'll have other opportunities for people to come in, and when we start to develop, flesh out the details behind a lot of these big concepts. So we'll make it available. It's a long answer to your question, but yeah, we'll make it available to everyone. And it's been available. In fact, you were there when we briefed it several months ago.
I was. Baber wasn't there. Neither Jack.
They missed a treat because we had Mr. Trip Muldrow.
Trip is just a professional. Trip don't get in his. Come on, man. Baber did this, and had these engineers and all these people with their highfalutin educations and all this other stuff. You had all those highfalutin people go, and Baber then sat in his kitchen over a cup of Folgers. I don't know, he might drink McDonald's coffee.
And as I look at, I haven't spent a whole lot of time on it, but it's just stating what we do have. These are the resources we have, and this plan capitalizes on it. It looks at the revitalization, and it does look at our true potential. So the plan is here. The plan is written.
How does that?
Holly Owen. Say again.
You said something about recapturing the hospitality taxes. How does that play into the revitalization part of this thing?
Well, the hospitality tax is actually that money that is designed to go back into the streetscape. So again, somebody do the math and say, whatever, $80,000 a year since 1999. So we lost all of that. We gave that away. So think about that. So whatever that math is, that could have been going directly back into the streetscape. Perhaps those black poles or those fancy little lamps could have been extended down to the west side and even further down to the east of the town.
Hey,
so what are those numbers? Any idea?
Oh, I'm about to get to that right now. So I just went with 70,000. I went right kind of in the middle of what you're saying. Mm-hmm. And so you're looking at 24 years.
Yeah.
That's 1.6.
So 1.6 million back into the main street.
Wait.
Or whatever that is.
Yeah. No, that's it. 1.6.
Right. So 1.6 million of monies that are generated from, and then it's back. It's right here. So we gave that away. We gave them a half a block for $6. It's time for us to start getting this stuff back, and that's where I am. And we're not going to stop. We're not going to continue to let money just leak out.
Some concern was voiced about decorations on the west side of town. Who can? I mean, and my thing was get out there and decorate it.
So you're talking about like the fall decorations up now? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah. Like the decorating. Anyway, that's a cheap shot. But go ahead.
No, it's all good. That's because that's Muscala McKenzie and a team of folks. I think some came from different churches.
No. And that my point in saying this, right? Let me go ahead and just real talk Tuesday. Let me go ahead and do some real talk. We need some of these other churches to come on to the west side and decorate the rest of that block. Okay, we need a couple of you other churches to step up, because that's what that is. A lot of folks think, oh, that's the town doing. No, the folks coming out there from the church and they decorating where they want to decorate at. All right. So if you want to see the west side decorated, talk to your church members. I know. Oh boy, this coffee is good right now. But yeah.
Well, this is coffee.
This was coffee.
Okay. And this is water.
Oh man. So, but yeah, the point is that it'd be nice to see some of our churches, some of the other churches step up and take a block, like, you know what I mean, and decorate. Also, we're going to be lighting up Jones Avenue Park again this year. If you got any lights that you probably use them and you're like, I ain't going to use them again this year, but they still work, we'll take them, or we'll take new lights, however you want to do it, but help us get that park lit. We want to do the entire park this year.
So that's another point you brought up here that got under my skin a little bit when it says Jones Avenue, the west side has been West Andrews or West Side, whichever one hasn't been addressed. I beg to differ.
They don't come over there, so they wouldn't know that.
Yeah. Now I was a little disappointed. The kid that I saw this morning wasn't walking on the sidewalk, but that sidewalk was not even visible for the last 10, 15 years. And this small team from Public Works and myself went out there and spent 10 hours cutting trees and clearing that thing off. And there's a lot of people who had moved here in the last decade, didn't even know it was a sidewalk there. So I take offense to the work that we put into that said there's nothing happened. That is disingenuous, and it's misleading, and just flat out lies. It just that bothers me more than anything. Again, I don't toot my horn. We just get out here and work. But again, I see that's not working. So I'll be pushing out as we go through this thing here, and we'll give you the opportunity to know exactly what's going on, all the details. It's awful. Yeah, and Ms. Burnett was out there too. My mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and so to that point, so what council members and those and others can do is do what Mr. Eddie Lee does. He found that, hey, look, he know that the small staff not going to get it all. This guy spent almost 3 years documenting every storm drain or busted area. He knows his entire storm drain like the back of his hand. It's all written, handwritten, mapped out, and it was very instrumental when we brought the engineers in to do the study that they did a couple of years ago. So we've had a complete study of our storm drains to address the flooding issue. And there's money that came down, and again, I give kudos to the former administrator for the county. Work with them, and they got money in to now develop this new outfall to build some resiliency and to reduce the flooding. Okay, so I give them that credit, and we work together on that project. But again, their staff and their engineers work very hard to get that through. Now I'm gonna have to follow up on that because the progress has stopped, and I'm not so sure why because I know the contracts that gone into contracting for this thing, and I'm not so sure where it is now. It should have been started months ago. So that's something I'm going to have to follow up on. But that's what, like Ms. Angie right now. Ms. Angie, Councilwoman Angie Anderson, has now taken on the part of now bringing the community together. She had a very successful gospel explosion during the festival. She brought the churches together. The Christian Fellowship, I think, with the majority of that group of people that came out and support that. And now she's going to get involved in helping with the streetscape part of that, along with Ms. Carla McKenzie and the Andrews Main Street. So all that's coming together. There's opportunities for people to come in. So then that's what council members, that's how they can be more effective, as opposed to being plopping them on top of the chief. The chief is well qualified to do what he's doing. He's building that team. He just hired, he's up now, 3 officers now in the training program. He the major and the corporal, they're doing their best. And again, shout out to the sheriff department and others that are coming in to assist. But that's what it's all about. And police officers, it's just a shortage all over. 5,000, if not more, by this time. So
yeah, I'm sure that number has grown.
Yeah, but as opposed to sitting back and bashing your police department and giving a pass to others, it's making any sense to me, because Andrews 2.2 square mile, but if you look at the 29510, that's about a 15-mile radius. Guess who else owns the rest of that? 3/4 of that
county.
Yeah. So everybody has a stake in the game, and working together like they're doing right now is what makes the difference. Now here we have we learned by Facebook that there's a listening, what is it called? Some kind of, I think the sheriff department coming to do a listening session about how they can assist the town. Guess what? Nobody called the chief.
I saw that.
That's disturbing.
That's when people, again, they want to interject themselves into politics, and the safety of the people is of no concern. They want to score political points. They want to play games. But the real safety, and then those who should be complaining and belly aching the most, no, they still want to play these damn games. And it's the people's safety. Again, just like was said, the EMS is not in town. Okay. And these kids are walking to school some kind of how. And right. So again, that's another thing. I didn't even think about that. But that's just how,
Yeah, we can't let politics, man, ruin our town, man. We're bigger than that. We're better than that. And people that are and the thing is, they know those who will keep, being adversaries or citizens against progress. They know that the same ones who are sending people, to try to attack me are the same ones that are involved in the years of the fall of this town. Okay. You can't make millions and don't give back to the community, or not get involved when there's an ambulance pulled out of your town, or not get involved when there's one of the most dangerous intersection at Ebenezer and MLK and County Line Road, not get involved and be very vocal and visible on fighting against that. You can't be a representative when a building could have exploded and killed a bunch of people when they went out and tore that building down.
The gas leak at the old Andrews High.
Yeah.
Where was the leadership then?
Where are they?
Asbestos leaking into the dang atmosphere, and you ain't heard nothing from these dudes.
No. So what is this thing really about? These things were happening over the years. Now it's just being highlighted, and they have a problem with it. Well, this old infantryman right here is going to stay in the fight, and I'm going to fight for Andrews. I'm going to fight for the people, and we're going to do our part, and we're going to get better. You can't stop that. That's God's will. I'm just telling you right now. That's just the way it is. Anybody that gets in front of it, then you deal with the consequences. You just deal with the consequences, because this is God's will, not mine.
For $72,000 a year, you go there. Won't he do it?
Yeah, you keep flashing at me. I'm going to have to reconsider. But now, we have a great time, and so we're going to keep fighting the fight again. I encourage these young folks, and I'll say this: we don't want to not everything is hunky dory. We do have a homeless, we have an addiction, and there's no simple solution to that. We have a gun violence. It's like the rest of America, but so we got to call on all parents, school, government. Everybody has to work together to figure out how do we get these guns off the street. And if it was a simple solution, the state and the country would have figured that out. So when you have 14-year-olds, teenagers can get their hands on a gun at any time, that's not a government problem. That's all of us problem.
That's a yeah. Because when I'm watching kids walk down the street, obviously all of them, got guns, and I mean, how do you police that? Like, they just, and I'm speaking of a specific situation that I saw. I got to do a little bit more editing because, again, I don't want to, but I want you guys to see something. It's some powerful images, and I'm gonna probably put them up on my YouTube page. That way I don't get blocked over here on Facebook, but I think you guys need to see it. And it was a picture where you're taking a picture of one thing and then you look in the background and you're like, whoa, you know what I mean? So, but yeah. So look, hey, Mayor, it's been an hour 41, man. And this has been a great conversation. This has been a great audience. We all the way up to 19 likes. Like, somebody thought something was funny. Don't know who that was. I can assume who it was, but no. That's old Veronica laughing at something silly that I probably said. But anyway, yeah.
And a shout out to Miss Joyce Williams, who is our code enforcement officer. I don't want to, again, talking about progress. You see the buildings coming down on Main Street, and that's working in conjunction with the owners of these properties. There's a couple still a couple ISOs, I should say, on Main Street, but those things are starting to move. Some we have a couple that we're going to have to got to get a little bit more forceful with in terms of applying the ordinance to, and they may end up we don't want to go to court for these things, but it's absolutely necessary as a part of this revitalization. Is to get those things down. We've got now some of the old houses are coming down. So Ms. Williams is doing a great job. So the code enforcement across the board is going to be enforced. People got to understand, if you are building a new structure, you have to get a permit. And Mr. Fowler, who is our permit guy, part of the Safe Built contracting agency we have out of Myrtle Beach, is the guy that you need to talk to. You come up and get a permit. He'll come out and inspect and do those things and make sure it's done safely, especially in establishments in the public where people are coming in. So we're overall responsible. We cannot let new electrical and construction stuff go on, and then something bad happens. A strong wind come through and blow this thing down. And they're going to start, when that investigation starts, they're going to look for those permits that come from the town that says, yes, these things were safe to build, and what happened, it just did not withstand the storm. So I want to give her a big kudos. She's always out. She's checking, for folks that have food trucks out there to make sure they're in compliance. And if they're not, they'll shut them down. In fact, the chief was out the other day doing the same thing, and I got the call from the people. They were actually in good standing, but they're doing their job. And so court enforcement is huge. It's not the town doesn't gain a lot of money from that. I'm talking peanuts. It's the safety of the public is what's important. And so she'll continue to do that. We'll continue to enforce that. And so we ask that anyone that's out there, any construction, any electrical work, new stuff that you're doing, we ask that you come up and get a permit to make sure you're doing it the right way. And because again, it's a public safety matter for all of us, and so please come do that. And so again, I want to thank Ms. Joyce. Again, I think there's going to be a couple houses coming down on Main Street on the west side of town here in the next few days. So it's happening.
Again, sir, I appreciate you. We got here the mayor of Andrews, South Carolina. Real Talk Tuesday, man. These are good talks. I'm liking this. I'm really liking this. I think this is beneficial.
Now, this doesn't replace the debate.
No, this don't replace the debate. Now they trying to come in here and debate for their boy or whatever, but I'm ignoring them.
I'm glad I'm not seeing those coming again. I wanted to be. I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm just here to tell you what's happening in your town. That you've hired me to have Overwatch and make sure things are straight, and that's what we're doing. Financially, again, this town have not been in the red financially since December of 2017. And if we wouldn't have been able to take care of some invoices that were associated with this building, go through the challenges we're having with the water situation in terms of collecting, and still maintain a very, very not plush, but then maintain an account that we could still pay our bills and those kind of things. So we're in good shape. That didn't happen overnight, but we're happy that that's where we are. And with the prayers going up, we will recoup all that stuff once we get this case to go to court. Once they realize that we're not going anywhere, we're not going to drop this case, and we're going to fight it and make sure we get what we need for the town. And this bill, if you give me 30 seconds.
Go ahead, bro.
The idea behind this building, man, they keep talking about it, calling it Taj Mahal and that nonsense. We bring in some very important people, man. Why would you want to bring them into something where you have a 100-year-old building with the stalls, plywood, still plywood, asbestos. I mean, I'm talking about asbestos plywood that is your stall that you go in to use the bathroom. That people can literally look over the top and, enter in your private space. You know what I'm saying? So that's one piece. It was designed with the people in mind. It was even from the orientation of the building. We wanted to be as such that this becoming, so that's where the name comes, complex, because the post office, the bank, the library, that's the business complex. So we say the municipal complex. It wasn't for the building itself. It's the complex of all things where people can walk across the street, take care of their bills, get their mail, and that stuff. Then this multi-purpose room that will be used by the fire department, the police department, can be, all chairs can come out. The citizens can come in and hold their events. There's a parking lot when we have the green space is developed, so the public can have a place to go. I recall when we had the storm and the storm shelter, we don't control the storm shelter. So when they told me I couldn't go in, or me and some of the other elected officials couldn't go in because it was run by the county and some others, and then when we had the cold snap here recently, it wasn't a shelter for our people to get to go in and get warm. That's what that space is for. This is for the people. We have ample, more than enough space for the fire department that they can get this, the fire engine that we have now, to include the ladder truck. It was designed with that in mind. The office space for any admin. We got $150,000 through the Senate Finance Committee through Senator Ronnie Sabb for the admin people. So $150,000, I think, can buy you a couple of office. So when this again, misleading the people out here that this thing is big and that the mayor's office is this big, guess what? When I leave office, that office is gonna be there. Yeah. So right now, again, she's right. So then the courthouse, we have to have our council meetings in the sheriff annex over here. But this room, this multi-purpose room can now be refigured, so we can hold our meetings that is comfortable for the people to come in. That was the idea behind it. We didn't make it we didn't develop a training room for the fire department, a training room it's a multi-purpose, and all they have to do is schedule it, and it works for all of us. Citizens want to come in again to have, bridal shower, baby shower, whatever the case may be, it's available for them. And for the employees. The evidence room. Right now, when the police officers confiscate any drugs, there's not a place they can put it in where it doesn't smell the entire place. It's awful. You go, you think this is a weed factory. No, it is evidence. And evidence, we don't have an evidence room. This building has an evidence room. And so it is designed for just like what it is right now, but it's modernized, guys. You're not going to get.
They just don't think we deserve that, boss. That's too good for us in Andros.
I would hope that's not the thought behind it. That would turn my stomach.
They think we just need a little. That's that. I mean, what would be the other reason? Like, why would they hold that money when they collected $41 million of the taxpayers' money?
And think about it. So for those that are on the other side of this thing, so you're telling me that all this money you put now, the study we're talking about, the downtown plan, it shows that we're spending $4.5 million, $4.3 million in dining outside of Andrews. We're spending another almost $2 or $3 million in buying clothing. So all of that tax money, all those money that you spend on those things went into this collection. They get it up to that 41 million. So why aren't you just as deserving as people in Waccamaw, Georgetown? You are. And that's what it's designed for. And it says to fully fund these things. That's the language that the county put in there and made it law. So why should we sit back and accept less? But then they didn't give us the money, but each council member got $1 million to go out and find their own little pet project. And one of those pet projects was a trail that cost almost $1.8 million. So that's more important to the lives of the people in this building, or for the citizens coming in to pay their bills to come into a safe building. I mean, now think of it. So then make it make sense. So what are we arguing about? Why aren't we banding together and say, hey, release the money? It's not coming out of the county's budget. But that same group of people can get behind the sheriff demands for an increase in $1 million to take his budget up from 15 to 16 million, which again, I'm not arguing that. And then a part of that is to raise your taxes to get those money.
I wonder what Everett Carolina knows, because in that one interview me and him did, he said he know I'm gonna have to rerun that interview, because he said he know some things. He know what's going on in the back end. He real quiet now too, but it's all good.
Listen, and people don't misunderstand me. The sheriff, just like I am, we got to fight for our organizations. He fought hard for his organization, and he got what he needed to sustain them. And I'm not knocking that, but that's the same thing that we're doing in this end. But we have a group of people that are fighting against that, because my efforts affect some of their family members. Well, tell your family members, do what's right.
Mm-hmm.
They won't have to worry about this guy, this mayor in this town. Tell them to do what's right and release these dollars. It's time out for us to keep yielding to people that doesn't have Andrews in its best interest. I don't care what your last name is or what you've done in the past. It is now. This is our time to break out of this situation we've been in for too many years. And so, I'm not going to play with that anymore. I'm not going to listen to this nonsense that they're putting out there. We're going to move forward.
That's what's up, man. I'm gonna run this here real fast before you get out of here. Well, you know what, sir? Again, I appreciate you. I'm gonna go ahead and get you out of here, because we're running at the 2 hour mark, and I forgot to delete some stuff. So I hope we don't run out of.
Go ahead and delete
data. So, but it's all good. This has been great. I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping through once again. Y'all give it up for the Honorable Mayor of Andrews, South Carolina, Colonel Frank McClary. I will chat with you again on next Tuesday. Let me get some of these comments up here real fast.
See you Friday night.
Oh, definitely. Yep. I will definitely be there. So you have a good one, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your time, man.
Yeah. All right. So there we go. Boom. Boom. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Felicia, for the donation. I appreciate it. Guys, Real Talk Tuesday is good to go, but we're going to do this one time.
Leadership is not just knowing what to do. It's assessing the obstacle that's blocking the way of what needs to be done. That's when experience and commitment come in, as you stand firm on your feet while in the trenches to make things better for all. Leadership is repairing the foundation, so the future grows from a solid base. The roadmap is set. There is no time to lose ground. Re-elect Mayor McClary. He's fighting for all of us.